Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Geek Culture Explained. As you can tell from the sound of my voice, this isn't Rob, but hopefully that didn't immediately just result in you tuning out of this video, because that would be really awkward and deflating if I can be quite vulnerable. Rob's actually on vacation and asked me to cover for him, which means that if you love Rob, you are hereby obligated to love me as well. My name is Karan, and many of you may remember me from the Morbius press junket. I appreciate all of you who gave me a warm welcome in the comments and even the constructive criticism on my often conversational approach to conducting interviews. What I find really funny about some of the less flattering comments that I promise you I didn't obsessively go through was that people were saying he didn't ask about the movie at all. And since Morbius has come out, I believe it's pretty apparent why there weren't any movie-related questions. Because you don't ask questions about Morbius, ladies and gentlemen. No. Morbius asks questions about you. So coming off the post-hero-gasm clarity, as I call it, with the penultimate episode of Season 3, it's been really incredible watching the evolution of the boys. And that's going to be the broad idea I'm going to present to you throughout the course of this video. See, what initially started as this gory and irreverent deconstruction of superheroes evolved into a gory and irreverent deconstruction of human nature. Throw in some satirical social commentary for good measure, and you have a show that is arguably no longer even about twisted superheroes. The closest similarity I can think of for the evolution of the boys is the Spartacus series by Starz, if anyone remembers that. Rest in peace to Andy Whitfield. When Spartacus first launched, people were very quick to dismiss it because they perceived it as a bad 300 knockoff. But similar to The Boys, it became a show about the human condition and the nihilistic existential dread that routinely pervades it. And not to get all political on you, as I'm about to somewhat get political on you, but we live in a time when division increasingly runs rampant on virtually every issue. I think over the last few years, especially since the advent of social media, we've learned that humans cannot agree on anything. Which makes you wonder, have we always been this way, and did social media just reveal it to us on a global scale? Or did social media make us this way where we can't seem to find any common ground? So you have to applaud the boys for undertaking the vast challenge of helping us see the commonality of our existence. The one magical and sublime quality that unites us. We're all crappy people. I'm crappy, you're crappy, he's crappy, she's crappy, they're crappy. We are all crappy people who amount to nothing but a mere speckle in the infinite fabric of the universe. And if you're saying to yourself, now wait just a minute, Karan, speak for yourself. I am not a crappy person. I feel like this show is consistently showing you that whatever moral righteousness we believe we have, when push comes to shove, our sense of morality is often the first thing we're willing to sacrifice. Look at someone like Starlight in episode 7. If there's anyone who has even a modicum of chance to represent the show's moral compass, it's her. But what is she doing in this episode? Cunningly recording and exposing Homelander to her 190 million social media followers. And don't get it twisted, I'm not about to be a Homelander apologist. I'm a pretty ambitious person, but I'm not gonna be that ambitious just yet, on the internet at least. I'm just presenting to you the ask that this show has of its audience, and pondering the question that even if Homelander is the scum of the universe, does that mean he should have a lesser expectation of privacy? And who should get to decide that? Should it be judges? Should it be law enforcement? Should it be elected officials? Should it be the mighty? Or should it be the meek? I saw some discourse on social media, and I use that term discourse very loosely, applauding Starlight for using her wits to outsmart Homelander by secretly recording their conversation. And of course, art is subjective. But I fear those who may be viewing the boys through the lens of good versus evil may potentially be missing the point of the show entirely. Again, that's why it's fundamentally integral to the future of humanity for all of us to acknowledge that we're all crappy people. I know that sounds harsh, but it's also a meta commentary of the show itself. The common convention would have you believe that this show is about society elevating and lionizing superheroes, who in turn are some of the worst people on the planet. But contrary to that belief, The Boys is actually about conveying the idea that anyone who thinks they have the world's best interests in mind is capable of wreaking inexplicable havoc. Acknowledging our crappiness just puts us all on common ground. At the onset, for example, it was really easy to perceive a character like Butcher as a neo-Robin Hood of sorts. Instead of balancing the scales by robbing the rich and giving to the poor, Butcher would balance the scales by protecting the public from relying on supes who didn't have their best interests in mind. But again, The Boys has consistently subverted certain tropes and has placed itself in the rare company of shows that are not only impactful, but can also facilitate these types of conversations that we're having at this very moment. I'd like to draw your attention to this quote from Butcher to Huey in the very first episode. A multi-billion-dollar global industry supported by corporate lobbyists and politicians on both sides. But the main reason that you won't hear about it is because the public don't want to know about it. See, people love that cozy feeling that supes give them, some golden C word to swoop out of the sky and save the day so you don't have to do it yourself. But if you knew half the shit they were up to, ooh, effing diabolical. But that's where I come in. Come in to do what? Spank the bastards when they get out of line. Just contrast that quote from Butcher's evolution going into the finale of season 3. It's clear to me that the writers skillfully played the card of misdirection. Butcher is no better than any of the supes he despises. I sound like a broken record at this point, but our crappiness once again puts us all on common ground. Which naturally begs the question, if we're all crappy people, how can anyone be a good person? I obviously haven't been in the writer's room, but I would take an educated guess that the writers discussed empathy at one point or another as a central tenet for the show. I can envision someone in the writing room going, if we can just make the audience empathize with even some of the most diabolical people, then there may be hope for humanity just yet. Think about Black Noir also in episode 7. He's a character that I honestly did not see myself empathizing with in any form or fashion. Even at the end of season 2 when Queen Mauve leaves him to succumb to his tree nut allergy by stuffing an almond joy in his mouth, that felt like a moment where the writers were tapping into some of the vastness of the boys' irreverent humor. This stone cold killer who inspires trepidation wherever he goes, only for his greatest weakness to be a tree nut allergy in the form of an almond joy. Gotta love the poetic irony there. But you get a sense that the writers were being more mischievous when that scene than wanting you to genuinely empathize with the character. But episode 7 represents a stark departure from the irreverent mischievous humor to full-on empathy. Black Noir is a man carrying the baggage from his past. Black Noir is a man unable to take full accountability for his past. Black Noir is a man who is unable to heal from the past. Black Noir is a man who has no friends and the company he keeps are mere projections that are reminiscent of the Looney Tunes by his conscious and or subconscious. Wait just 1 second. Amazon may need to cut me a check because he's just like me for real. As we head into the finale, I want to leave you all with a bit of a hot take. Assuming it sticks the landing, The Boys is inserting itself into the conversation of all-time great shows. It has dynamic characters, crazy moments, social commentary, and a true modern-day villain with Homelander. Which is why Amazon should seriously consider season 4 being the final. Go out on a high note. As I've highlighted on this video, The Boys has consistently proven to challenge your beliefs on what kind of show you even think it is. But you have to wonder, as a fan, how long can they continue to do that at a high level? I'm looking forward to hearing from all of you in the comments below. How do you feel about the points I raised? What does The Boys mean to you? What does it mean to you in the long lineage of all-time great shows? I know this wasn't a traditional episodic breakdown, but I hope it does amplify your excitement about the impact the show is having, at least on me, going into the finale. Thank you for your time, and I will see you all very soon.